before the fall with Eve and Adam. And I didn't know the chronology. How long did they live in paradise before the fall? I think, I didn't look it up, but I'm just going from memory. But I think Bullinger just says paradise only lasted about a week. But one of our remnant talked to a young lady years ago who was at a Way family camp the Dr. Worrell taught, and I believe it's worth repeating, just one person removed. He heard it with his own ears, and he sent it to me. The doctor, and I've never heard this before, Dr. Worrell said that it probably took about 5 years for the serpent to finally convince Eve to turn on the word and go to her senses, because she was a perfect woman and she wouldn't have just tripped up overnight, over a day or two. Boy, I loved hearing that. I never thought of that. Have you? I never thought of that. You know, Eve gets a lot of blame. That was more of a positive look at the same. That makes a lot of sense to me. He had Dr. Worrell's love and respect for how perfect Adam and Eve were. The enemy couldn't have just snapped his fingers and taken her out so quickly. I think that makes a lot of sense. He just estimated probably about 5 years. So I throw it out there to chew on. It struck my heart in a harmonious manner. So I wanted to share that with you. It blessed me to hear that. Well, let's get back to the event. We're back from the commercial break to the saga. And falling into a place where two seas met, verse 41, they ran the ship aground. And the forepart, look how specific this is. You can just picture it in your mind. And the forepart stuck fast and remained unmovable. But the hinder part was broken, dismantled, disassembled with the violence of the waves. It was still storming bad. And the soldiers' council, okay, they're responsible for the prisoners. Under Roman law, if anyone escaped from them, the guard was executed. So yeah, but you can see their fears jumped them here. And the soldiers' counsel was to kill the prisoners, lest any of them should swim out and escape. These natural men tended to panic and forget the guidance and direction already given them by revelation. But by now the centurion knew the value of having Paul alive and of listening to his counsel. Verse 43, but the centurion, willing to save Paul, kept them from their purpose. Well, they obeyed him. That's good. Showed some discipline, and commanded that they which could swim should cast themselves first into the sea and get to land. We know Paul could swim because back there in Corinthians, years before this event, he wrote of a time when he spent a day and a night in the deep, surviving in the ocean. Imagine that. So he could swim. He could believe God to keep all those wild predators of the salt seas off his back. A day and a night in the deep. Wow. So we know Paul could swim. Look at the endurance it took to believe God through situations like this. The physical strength.